Hey everybody, welcome back. Welcome to the live stream. Friday edition, live, taking trades, breaking down the markets. We're going to look at the E-mini S&Ps. We're going to take a look at, we're going to dive into the SPY. We're going to look at the NASDAQ. We're going to look at the Dow. We're going to talk about the massive movement today and just kind of break things down and see how all of you did trading today. So just want to give everyone just a couple minutes to pile into the live stream. And once you arrive to the live stream, let's throw something in the chat. Say hello in the chat. And let me know where you're from. All right, let's get started. So we've got /ES, the E-mini S&Ps right now. And when I left earlier in the day, we were pushing down close to the 2,900 level. And then we've just rallied all the way back up. And now we're back at 2,963 with an open today of 30.24. So right now it's showing in my window that we're down about 52 points on the E-mini S&Ps for the day, which is remarkable because it looked like we were going to blow out the lows. We got some jobs report data that ended up being good, but didn't seem to have much of an effect on the markets. And then now, after the big push to the downside, we had a couple rise and falls throughout the day, but ultimately it was just kind of a down day. And now we've had this rally. I haven't been watching the market since about probably 20 minutes to the close, so I'm not sure when this rally happened, but nonetheless, I'm glad to see it. If we go to /NQ, let's take a look over here. And let's see what we got here. So nice rally back there. Then let's look at the Dow real quick, /YM, just to see what it's doing. Yeah, that's quite a rally back to the upside, which is great. I'm going to open up my news tab just to see what's going on. Bonds extend their rally as stocks close lower. Oh, and I did see this tweet. Elon Musk came out and said, quote unquote, coronavirus panic is dumb. And so, so you know, that's him, that's Elon being Elon. But Dow is showing that rally back to the upside, which is really surprising. So my week was kind of interesting. As you all know, I like to carry some static short delta. And so I have that by means of covered calls. So I'm selling a lot of naked puts and then also selling a lot of covered calls. And what that does is in weeks like this, it allows me to go ahead and roll those positions down. As a stock drops to the downside, I can roll that call down after and continue to collect credits on the way down. That way it sort of softens the blow of all of this craziness. And hopefully over, you know, however many months or even years that you've held a stock, hopefully your cost basis is low enough because you've sold enough premium that you've got a nice cushion so that you can weather a storm like that. Just want to check the stream just making sure everything is good. If you pop into the live stream, say something in chat. Let me know that you're there. I just want to make sure everything's running okay. It looks to me like everything is good. So if you hit the live stream, put something in the chat, just say hello, let me know how you're doing. So anyway, let's get back to this. So my day, I was rolling down some Wayfair calls today. Wayfair has just been absolutely brutalized from up in these levels after that drop. Sort of rose back, dropped again. I have a break-even price of about $89.60. It was looking like we were holding a little and then we hold a little drop, but nonetheless during this whole drop I'm just continuously rolling my calls down, so it's not that big a deal as far as just collecting small credits and then giving this time to work its way back to the upside. So Wayfair was one I was dealing with. Another one, you guys know I have a position in Facebook, and this has just been a monstrous, just crazy downside. We were up at 224 not long ago, and my cushion sort of extends down into the 160s. But I tell you what, trying to keep selling premium and rolling my calls down after a certain amount of time, you can only take so many 4,000 point slides before you just start to go in the red. So definitely feeling the pain more this week. Ready for that turn back to the upside, even if it's short-lived for a few weeks, just to get some back and forth activity. That way it's not all to the downside. So Facebook sold some premium, moved some strikes today. That felt pretty good. Sort of just hung in there with that. Another one that I got into recently was Ulta. You can see Ulta is sort of bouncing along this trend line in here. And not that the trend line's super important, but it's just indicating to me that it's a possible uptrend, even if it's short-lived after this drop. So I've been watching Ulta. It's going to have earnings coming up soon, but we had this segment where we had the MACD pressing down nicely. We had the RSI showing that we were oversold. And not that these make a huge deal with the trade, but it just tells me where the trade's positioned, and it helps me be consistent. So I wait for both of those to push down, and then I enter and put out naked puts. So put out a naked put sort of in the 260 level, and then got the pop, felt really good about it, and then we got the drop. So now not feeling so good about it. But my put strike is 235 and collected about almost $11 on it. So my break even's right around the 224 mark. So we'll keep an eye on Ulta. But I'm just staying super mechanical. I'm just literally going, if I open my positions tab here, I'm literally just going, next week I'm dealing with really probably less than 10 positions. I'm just looking at what I have coming up this week as far as rolling, but you can see the dates on these and what I have going on. Stitch Fix and AAL, AIG, First Solar, AMD, American Airlines. I'm going to be dealing with these next week. Looking at, I want to stay mechanical, so I want to go ahead and be able to sell premium, roll down calls, move things around, extend time periods. Anything I can do to collect credits to continue weathering this storm is what my current plan is. So just going to keep that up, going to keep selling Ulta, going to keep selling Facebook, Wayfair, just keep watching things. But I'm super excited to see this late rally, which appears to have taken place mainly after hours. I think we're at our break right now. The E-mini S&Ps close, I believe, for 1 hour around this time. I think they'll open up again in 10 minutes. But when they open up, hopefully we'll continue to push back to the upside. That would be amazing. To go into Monday, maybe rallying back above 3,000 on the E-mini S&Ps. That would be amazing. If we flop over to NASDAQ, just to look at it one more time, and the reason I look at the futures charts is because it's awesome to be able to see them all hours of the day. You can get up at 2 o'clock in the morning and look at the E-mini S&Ps and see, kind of gauge the sentiment or see what maybe that next trading day is going to bring for you. As an equities trader like me who trades when the market opens, at 7:30 Mountain Time. So you can watch it all night, get an idea for maybe what your plan is, and then after the close, you can also see what the follow-through is like. So there's the NASDAQ. Then if we look at the Dow, everything's rallying. I'm very excited for this to open back up because we might continue back to the upside. And the main thing to watch recently has been the VIX. Wow. So we got up and we did touch 40.15, and now we've pulled off it by $4. So that's encouraging. That's a big pullback off of the high for volatility. /VX is the CBOE volatility index. It's great for, again, in the middle of the night, you want to know what the volatility is like, just go to /VX. That'll help you with your options trades. They'll help you with just knowing when it's a good time to sell premium, and also how to gauge what the day might be like. This morning, watching /VX before the market opened, I saw it pushing up really hard and rising, and I just knew it was going to be a turbulent open. I just knew that things were going to probably dump. I mean, no one knows anything, but I knew it was likely that we were going to have a turbulent open, and we sure did. Things were a little bit wild. Once the market's open, I like to flip over to the VIX. And wow, that is crazy. That was it got as high as 54.39 today, and it pulled all the way back to 41.94. That's just interesting. So I'm curious to know what shoved that back down. Maybe we have Elon Musk to thank. We'll have to thank Elon Musk for this late rally when he tweeted that coronavirus panic is quote unquote dumb. He said. Let's go back to the ES just to take a peek. So anyway, anybody in the chat right now? So my day was just sort of managing positions, rolling things around. I managed my Facebook, my Wayfair, and was collecting credits. This has been a pretty big week for me in terms of I put on a Carvana naked put and an Ulta naked put, and that was a bulk of my premium selling this week, which was amazing because it helps me meet my weekly targets. And then managing a lot of other positions. I get 21 days expiration. I start rolling out in time. If I really don't like a position and I want to try to chase the current price a little bit, then I will roll out in time and I will roll my position down. So I will roll the strike down to try to catch up with maybe a stock that's blown me out. So that's where a bulk of my action comes from. And then if I have long stock that's getting beat up and pushed to the downside, and I'm starting to get a pretty good sizable distance away from my covered call that I have sold, I'll go ahead and start rolling that covered call strike down to help kind of squeeze the trade a little and earn money while a stock drops. Now, you have to remember, if you get too close or you chase the stock too tightly, then if we get a big bounce day, you could be back in the money and get whipsawed back to the upside. So just be aware of that. But that's kind of how I approach things. I carry those static delta to the downside when I have a covered call on. That just helps, if we get a big dump. I do miss big upsides. If a stock rallies 500 points in one day and I have my covered call on, of course that limits me. But in times like this, when we're getting the stock market's just dumping, I can just roll and chase it down and continue to sell credit. So that's my MO right now. But I want to hear from all of you. Hit the live stream. Let me know what tickers you want to take a peek at. If you have questions, let me know. If nothing, we can call it a day. I know it's Friday, but just wanted to go live and check in on everybody, see how everybody's doing. I know it's been a wild week, so hit the chat. Let me know if you want to take a look at any stocks. I think there are a few people here. You've got 3 people in, maybe. But yeah, if you guys want to talk about anything, let me know. We'll take a look at the futures markets and the flight to quality piece from the thumbnail. I should not forget that. Let's look at gold. So anytime there's panic, anytime there's big volatility in the market or big spikes in the VIX or /VX, everybody goes to gold because it's known as a safe haven. It's a place where you can put your money and have it be safe. And as you can see, gold's lurched up a few big days. It was up earlier, but it's pulled way back. So you'll usually see volatility typically move in the opposite direction of gold. So that's typically how that will flow. And also, if you go to /ZB, you can look at bonds. And typically when volatility's up, you'll get movements. See, let's go ZB and ZN. Notes and bonds are also big places to go for being safe havens. If there's panic in the street, people will go to bonds and they'll buy /ZB or anything related to it, and that's why this has been up so much while the markets have been down. So it's sort of inverse relationship typically. Now, we did have a day this week where things got kind of weird and gold and the market, the E-mini and the S&Ps both dropped. I can't remember what day that was last week, but kind of an oddity, but typically it's an inverse relationship. Hey, Cap Zerone, how are you? Hello to you, good sir. Welcome. I think it's just you and me. It's like solo one-on-one live stream. I don't think there's anybody else in here. I know, what a time to be alive. The markets are insane. This has been, it's been amazing. And I tell you what, Cap, the funniest thing I've been doing is watching CNBC. I've been opening up, I'll type in cnbc.com and it'll load the main page. and there'll be like a big headline about how the market's doing this or that, and it's really bad, and they'll show a dramatic picture of someone covering their face or weeping on the floor. And then if the market rallies, I'll go back to CNBC and refresh the page, and they will have changed the headline and changed the picture, so it's like someone happy and saying that things aren't so bad, and then maybe the market sells off again, and then I'll refresh CNBC and they'll change the headline again, and now it's the end of the world. It's just hilarious how truly, as Tasty Trade, Tom Sosnoff, Tony Batista, they all say nobody knows anything, and I 100% agree, because as we're watching this play out, Cap, it's just, yes, they reflect the market, and it's hysterical. Nobody knows anything, but it's engagement. I guess CNBC gets people excited about the markets, but nobody knows anything. Yeah, bipolar, exactly. So anyway, yeah, I was just reviewing my trades, what I was doing. My approach, Cap, has just been selling naked puts and selling covered calls. I like the static delta that I get out of the covered call, because I can go ahead and be protected a bit to the downside. And so, like for Facebook, my position in Facebook today, it's been dumped, and what I can do is just continue to roll my position down and chase this, but collect credits as I go. And I guess I misspoke. I have static long delta in my stock, but I guess my short exposure is a call. So I guess I have dynamic delta to the downside. I misspoke on that. Dynamic delta, dynamic negative delta, so that I can roll my calls that I sold down and collect credits as the market drops. So that's kind of been where a bulk of my revenue has come from. So positions. So Cap saying you didn't join earlier. What have I been putting positions on? So I've been putting positions on Carvana. Earlier, the bulk of my week was a naked put on Carvana as we got this drop, and obviously today was a little unfortunate for my position, but I put a naked put on in here with a 75 strike, so I'll be massaging that one a little bit. I like seeing a red pullback in the MACD and a corresponding RSI getting down below 30, and I also like to find something that's been uptrending a bit. Carvana's been on an uptrend and had this big pullback. So when we got this drastic drop and we got these pushes to the downside, I went ahead and sold the naked put, and I think I collected $6.10 per share. Yeah, the blue chips. Do you have anyone in mind, Cap? Cap's talking about blue chip stocks, good premium. Really, everything has good premium right now. Like I don't even know DAL. We'll look at that for Cap here. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, any of the airlines are super interesting. Earlier in the week, Cap, I played American Airlines. So I've gone ahead and sold a couple of puts at two different strike levels in AAL as it's dropped. Collect a lot of good premium, so it moved my break even down nice and low. Let's see, airlines. I mentioned before, people need to fly. Yeah, people need to fly. It's people have to move around. People are going to fly, and we're going to have this lull. But ultimately, I was reading an article talking about the air filtration on an airplane, and I had always thought that when you're on an airplane, you know, it's inevitable you're going to catch a cold because they're just recirculating the air. But I didn't realize how well they filter that air that they're using, that they're pulling in, pressurizing, and filtering. So the airline air is really not, from what I read in this article, is not as risky or dangerous as you think. So people got to fly. It's very interesting to see this. But I do think that these airlines at some point, people who are buying any of the big airlines at these levels, I got to think are going to be happy, you know, down the road when we move on. Whether that's a month from now, 6 months from now, or 2 years from now. Yeah, it's definitely better than a cruise ship, Cap. You got that right. So that was the bulk. I traded AAL, I traded Carvana, and then the other one was I sold a put on Ulta, and I love trading Ulta. It's got really rich premium. Obviously, right now it has amazing premium. And when we got this pull down, we got the push down in the MACD. We got the push down the RSI, and it bounced right here. And I went ahead and sold a put in here in the upper 50s, right around 260. I sold a 235 put, but I collected $11, and that was huge because pushes my break even down to 224 and is a massive credit to collect. And getting put shares on Ulta at 235, I would probably be okay with, because I would turn around and just start to sell the covered calls on it. I really like Ulta. I like that they don't have debt. I like that their China exposure is actually pretty low, around 1% exposure to China, so super low. And just overall, I think a good company. And so I put a trade on that. So a bulk of my trading was Ulta, Carvana, and then on American Airlines, a couple of positions there. My positions cap, I typically go 32 to 45 days, right in that range. I'll set them up. So for Ulta, if I open up the trade tab here, you can see on Ulta, I think I went 32 days, so we're at 28 right now. And you can see I'm at the 235 strike, so 31 delta right now. It's a good trade. It's super exciting. It's been a huge week. It's been amazing, and so no complaints. I do want to see the markets return and move back to the upside a little bit and kind of relief this wild, crazy ride. And I'd really like volatility to contract so that I can take some of my positions off. With volatility staying swollen, I can't get premium prices low enough to justify closing out some of my puts. So just hanging tight, waiting for that volatility crush, and then once we get that, I can go ahead and close out some positions, free up more capital, and then move on to some other trades. But right now, just being patient and staying mechanical, just churning stuff over. 45 days on for a trade, and then I'll go ahead and roll them out once I get 21 days to expiration. Oh, good. Cap, that's great. DAL, you got 350. Yeah, that's amazing. If I go to my American Airlines, I'll show you this cap. I went April 3rd. This one's like, again, like 32 days out. But I went ahead and sold the 18, and I sold the 15. And I think on the 18, I might have collected, I want to say I collected like $2.75 or close to $3 on it, but that's great, $3.50, and you can't beat it. I mean, at the time, I'm trading like an $18, $19 stock and getting, almost $3 is amazing. And like you're talking about on DAL, how do you beat a $45 stock and you're getting $3.50? That's amazing. So nice job, Cap. That's great. But yeah, looking good. I tell you what, I'm going to wrap things up. I had to keep it kind of short today. I got something to run and do, but Cap, I love that you and I had a great live stream. This is great. Hope you have a great weekend, and tune in again next week. We're going to keep firing these up, keep navigating these crazy waters, and love to hear from you guys and just kind of see how you're doing and see how your portfolio is holding up. But again, keep it small. Keep the trades small. Stay consistent, stay mechanical, and once we get back to less volatile times, we'll be feeling a little better about things. But Cap, have a great night. Anyone else who happens to be in the live stream, have a great night, have a great weekend, and we'll see you Monday, all right? Cap, I don't have a Discord, but I do have a Facebook group. If you go to the banner on the YouTube channel, there's a Facebook icon. Click that icon right now. Just click it right now, and it'll take you to the Facebook page, and click submit a request to join the private group. I think it's like almost 80 people now, but Cap, I'd love to have you in there. So do that right now. Click that and click request, and I'll go approve you right now, okay? All right, everybody have a great weekend.